Hi, my name is Tenley, and I'm the OpenLMIS Community Manager. Today, I will be walking you through a demo of the requisition functionality of OpenLMIS version 3. OpenLMIS is an open-source, enterprise-class, web-based electronic logistics management information system, or LMIS, purpose-built to manage health commodity supply chains in low and middle-income countries. To begin, let's take a look at the requisition workflow for OpenLMIS. The demo for the requisition process will follow these exact steps, and throughout the demo, I will play the role of each of these users. This is a demonstration of the basic pull or requisition workflow in OpenLMIS, whereby a health facility or lower-level node is requesting products or commodities from the national or higher-level node warehouse. To start, I will log into OpenLMIS as a storeroom manager. The storeroom manager role may go by another name, such as a facility officer, data entry personnel, pharmacist, or something similar. The first step is for the storeroom manager to create a requisition and report on the stock levels and transactions from the last period or month, depending on the replenishment cycle. As the storeroom manager, I will submit that requisition. I will then log in as the store manager to review, make any edits, and authorize the requisition. Next, I would log in as the district store manager in order to approve the requisition. Once the requisition has been approved, a warehouse clerk would convert the requisition to an order, which would create an order within the national ERP or warehouse management system. After the national system fulfills the order, a shipment file is sent to OpenLMIS so that the requisitioning facility can log in and confirm the quantities received. Okay, let's get started. On the screen, you will see the login page for OpenLMIS. First, I will log in as the storeroom manager, who is filling out an initial requisition to request product from a higher-level depot or warehouse. The role of this user is to complete and submit a requisition. Once I've logged in, as the storeroom manager, I will select Requisitions from the top menu and create my requisition. For this demo, I will create a requisition for the Family Planning Program at the Nandumbo Health Facility. As you can see, there are multiple programs to choose from based on the configuration of the system. You can configure OpenLMIS to support as many programs as needed and assign those programs to specific facilities. There is also an option to create an emergency requisition if necessary, which isn't tied to a specific replenishment period. But for now, we'll focus on routine requisitioning. For this demonstration, we will show a monthly processing or replenishment period. However, OpenLMIS can be set up for a quarterly schedule or periods of any length of time, depending on the country's program. If no requisition form has been started for this period, the user will see the button to proceed with the requisition. You are now viewing the basic report and requisition form. Before starting to fill in the form, I will first demonstrate the offline functionality in OpenLMIS. I will do so by turning off my Wi-Fi connection and disconnecting from the internet, thereby forcing the system to go offline. Once I'm offline, OpenLMIS visually indicates that you are offline. See here at the top of the screen, the navigation bar has turned from light gray to black, and here, the system explicitly indicates that it is offline. A lightning bolt symbol will display next to actions you are unable to complete while offline. In offline mode, a user can complete almost every task in the requisition form that they could while online. For example, entering a comment about changes or additions to the requisition form. I will demonstrate by leaving an example comment, higher than average consumption. The requisition automatically saves at regular intervals, so there is no need to worry about clicking a Save button. I would like to draw your attention to the Informational Eyes above the main product grid, which provide the user with instructional information on what data should be filled in each row. The informational section also helps to improve data entry integrity, so users can understand, for example, what beginning balance or consumed quantity means. Each program's requisition form can also be configured to allow or prevent the skipping of products. This form is configured to allow skipping, and by selecting the checkbox here, you can skip products or line items as needed. Let's get started on completing the requisition form. On this form, there is no beginning balance yet available. This data is populated from a previous month's report and requisition that was submitted, and the user can update the quantity if it is incorrect. So, to complete a requisition, first I would enter a beginning balance at the start of the month, then the quantity received over the last period, then the quantity consumed, any adjustments, stock out days, and additional information from the last period. This information goes into the calculation of the reorder or resupply amount. In this example, we'll say that this facility started with 2,000 packs of Lavora as their beginning balance and received 1,000 packs at the beginning of the month. In this example, we'll say that this facility consumed 2,000 packs over the course of the month. An additional option is to indicate any losses or adjustments that need to be recorded. For example, in this case, I can say that 20 boxes were damaged. This will now be factored into the total stock on hand for the end of the month. Another field that can be included is stock out days, which requires a number of days within the period to be entered. For this example, from 0 to 90. This field then adjusts the consumption quantity used for the calculation of the average consumption. An important note is that some of the fields included on the form are calculated. For example, stock on hand, average consumption, and calculated order quantity. Calculated order quantity is the average consumption times the max stock level minus the stock on hand. The number of periods averaged is configurable. Packs to ship converts the dispensing unit into packs. All quantities in the first few columns are in individual dispensing units. In addition, each product in this demo has an associated price per pack, which then informs the total requisition cost, seen here. This feature allows a manager to see the total cost of all products requested on the form. As a requisition is filled in, the total requisition cost is updated in real time. Currently, the calculated order quantity for this form is 5,020 units. As a reminder, this is the average consumption for the month times the max stock level minus the stock on hand. As the storeroom manager, if I determine that this quantity is too high or is insufficient, I can enter a different quantity to order here under requested quantity. Let's say I think 5,020 is too little. I can enter a new amount and a required explanation. For example, higher than average consumption due to nearby facility closure. You can then see that packs to ship converts the amount to packs and updates based on this requested quantity instead of the calculated quantity, because the requested quantity is overriding the calculated amount. An additional concept to explore is non-full supply products. These products are not regularly ordered or are not required on a quarterly basis or whatever the processing period may be. Here, the user can add a new product based on the product list in the system and request, for example, 100 packs of implantable contraceptive with the explanation, ran out last period. These products have now been added to this requisition. Something to note here, at this point, I have completed all of these actions while offline. I am able to enter data and make edits while offline. Once I am back online, I will be able to submit and print the requisition. Now at this point, I'm ready to submit my requisition form. So I have skipped all of the other products on the form. In order to submit a requisition and move to the next step in the process, the user must be connected to the internet. So at this point, I will reestablish my connection and wait until the navigation bar turns light gray again. Now that I'm connected again, I can revisit my requested and calculated quantities. And by hovering here, I can view the total cost of my requisition, including the non-full supply products. Before submitting, since I've been offline, I first need to sync with the server, and a synchronization verification will pop up in the upper right-hand corner. Now that I've reviewed my data, and since everything looks good, I'm going to submit this requisition by hitting the Submit button. After verifying that I'm ready to submit, a submission verification will pop up in the upper right-hand corner. At this point, I will now log out as the storeroom manager and log in as the store manager. The store manager may also be called a chief pharmacist or something similar, and will typically supervise a district or regional level storeroom, depot, or warehouse. The role of this user is to authorize any submitted requisitions for their supervisory node. This user accesses the requisition form just like the storeroom manager. However, now you can see that the requisition for this period is shown as submitted. This indicates that the requisition has been submitted and is ready for review and authorization. Again, this form is offline capable, but I'll stay online for now. All fields are still editable in case, as the higher level approver, I need to make some changes to the data or notice an error in the entries. Here again, I'm able to add a comment to the requisition. For example, I'll type, "Requisition approved, no issues." After reviewing all the data, I will select Authorize and confirm the authorization of this requisition. An authorization verification will pop up in the upper right-hand corner. Now, I will log out and log in as the Program Supervisor. This user is at a higher level in the LMIS workflow. The role of this user is to approve any outstanding authorized requisitions for their supervisory node. The Program Supervisor accesses a list of requisitions awaiting approval by selecting the Approve menu dropdown. As a user with approval permission, I see a list of all authorized requisitions awaiting approval by supervised facilities. Here, I can view any comments that have been made by previous users, and I can also select View History to see which actions have been taken with the requisition previously. As an approver, I cannot make changes to data that was previously entered, but I can indicate what the approved quantity is for this requisition. If, for example, the storeroom manager requested 7,000 units of Levora, but I know that particular facility may receive a higher patient load in the coming quarter, I can change the approved quantity to 8,000 units, adding a remark and a comment above. For example, approved additional stock to meet increased demand. Additionally, I can also make changes to the approved quantities of the non-full supply products. After reviewing all data a final time, I will approve the requisition, and the system automatically returns me to the list of requisitions pending approval. There are now no other requisitions pending. At this point, I can perform a number of actions. For example, if I wanted to print this requisition, I would select the View menu item and search for all requisitions associated with the Nandumbo Health Center. I am able to view the requisition and all relevant details, and can print the requisition. The printout only includes products for which data has been entered, and also includes the budget details. In addition, the full submission and approval history of the requisition is shown here, including names and dates of each person who has completed an action on the form. An additional action that this user can perform is to remove the offline copy of the requisition, which has been stored locally on their machine. By removing this copy, the user can increase storage space. As you have seen, OpenLMIS has role-based access control, meaning that the view of the system can be configured for individual users. In the final steps of the requisition process, a user can convert the requisition to an order. Here, if OpenLMIS is installed in the country to communicate with ERP or warehouse management software at a regional or district warehouse or drug depot, a user can convert the requisition to an order, which would automatically send the order to the warehouse, where it can be fulfilled and returned. At this point, I will log in as an administrator in order to view all actions available to a user in the system. As the administrator, I have fulfillment permission. By selecting View Orders, I can view all existing orders in the system. At this point, I have a few options. I can choose to print the order, or I can download all available orders into an Excel file. Once an order is filled, a shipment file would be returned to the ordering facility. The storeroom manager could then print out the POD from OpenLMIS, which would accompany a delivery. The receiving facility could then indicate the product received, returned, etc., and add any appropriate signatures. OpenLMIS also has an administration section, which allows a user with the correct admin permissions to configure the requisition template. Here, we'll configure the family planning template. Each row on this screen corresponds to a column on the requisition form that you saw earlier. All the label names and definitions on this screen may be edited, as well as their configuration and their order. The source of each data point is listed here, with some sections allowing a user to select whether they would prefer that the system automatically calculate the data, or whether they would prefer the source to be user input. Changing the order on this screen means that the order will also be changed on the next requisition form. This concludes the demonstration of the requisition process flow in OpenLMIS. Contact us at info@openlmis.org with any additional questions and to learn more about upcoming features and functionalities. We're always available to chat, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.